There are places where time seems to stand still. Places where the air feels heavier, where every sound carries just a little farther, and where an overwhelming feeling tells you that you are not alone. Hidden within an ordinary neighborhood on the south side of San Antonio, Texas, lies one of America's most unsettling paranormal legends. By day, it's nothing more than a quiet railroad crossing. Cars pass without a second glance. Children ride their bicycles nearby. Life moves on, but after sunset, everything changes. People come here from across the country with one simple goal: to meet the children, not living children, but those who, according to generations of local legend, never truly left these tracks. Visitors arrive with cameras, flashlights, baby powder spread across their trunks, and one question they hope they'll never have answered: will something touch my car tonight? Some leave laughing, others leave in tears. Many refuse to speak about what happened until they've put miles between themselves and these rails. Because those who believe something is still here, watching, waiting, protecting. Tonight, we journey to one of America's most mysterious haunted locations, where invisible hands are said to save lives, and tiny fingerprints may be the only evidence they were ever there. This is the legend of the ghost tracks of San Antonio. You're watching DreamWave Paranormal. Every haunting has an origin. Every ghost story begins with loss. For decades, the people of San Antonio have whispered the same heartbreaking tale. Long ago in the 1930s, on a particularly gloomy night, a nun was driving a bus full of students back home after a field trip. They were traveling down Shane Road, but when they got to the rail crossing, the bus stopped abruptly on the tracks. Most of the kids were sleeping, so she was attempting to restart the engine softly. Suddenly, a freight train emerged from the darkness. It was too late to get the children out of the bus, since the train was racing at tremendous speed. In a bid for life and desperation, the nun frantically twisted the key, but it was a moot effort. The train carved through the bus, cutting it in two. The nun was hurled through the windshield but miraculously survived. However, all of the young children were tragically killed. Weeks later, ridden with guilt, the nun returned and parked her own car on the tracks, waiting for the train to strike. However, just before it came, her car was pushed off the tracks by some unseen force which many believe to be the ghosts of the deceased children. It is said that if you park your car near or on the railroad tracks at Shane Road, ghostly children will push it to safety today, as they are determined to ensure that no one suffers the same terrible fate. The story of the nun's car being pushed away from the tracks has grown so popular that people from all across the country come to see the Shane Road railway crossing. Some people will dust their vehicle with baby powder on the rear bumper, allowing them to more easily recognize the small handprints as it is pushed off the tracks, just as happened decades ago with the nun. Legends survive because stories are told. But hauntings survive because people believe they have witnessed something impossible. For decades, visitors have arrived at these tracks expecting little more than an urban legend. Many leave convinced they encountered something far more disturbing. One family recalled feeling a sudden impact against the rear of their vehicle, as if several small hands had pushed all at once. When they reached the opposite side of the crossing, they stepped out to inspect the car. Pressed into the layer of baby powder covering the trunk were what they believed to be tiny fingerprints. Not one, not two, but dozens. Another visitor claimed that while photographing the crossing at night, their camera repeatedly malfunctioned. The batteries, freshly installed only minutes earlier, were suddenly drained. After replacing them, the camera worked perfectly until it was pointed back toward the tracks. Then it shut off again. Paranormal investigators often refer to this as battery depletion, a phenomenon they believe occurs when unseen entities draw electrical energy from nearby devices in an attempt to manifest themselves. Others tell of hearing children's laughter echo across the empty crossing, a sound so faint, so distant, that it almost disappears the moment you stop to listen. One witness described seeing what appeared to be several small figures standing beside the tracks, just beyond the reach of the headlights. Thinking neighborhood children were playing a dangerous game. He flashed his lights. The figures vanished. There was nowhere they could have gone. No houses, no parked cars, no trees large enough to hide behind. Only darkness. And the tracks. Many paranormal researchers caution that eyewitness testimony alone cannot prove a haunting. But when hundreds, perhaps thousands, describe remarkably similar experiences over generations, believers begin asking a different question. Could all of them really be imagining the same thing? There is something visitors mention again and again. It isn't always what they see, it's what they feel. Long before reaching the crossing, an uneasy silence settles over the area. Conversation fades. The excitement gives way to nervous anticipation. Some describe feeling as though they're being watched. Others report an overwhelming sadness. Several investigators have spoken about experiencing what they call environmental changes. A sudden drop in temperature, goosebumps despite the summer heat, an unexplained pressure in the chest, a heaviness in the air that disappears the moment they leave. Paranormal investigators often believe locations marked by intense emotional trauma can retain residual energy, like echoes that continue replaying long after the original event has faded into history. Whether that energy comes from human emotion or something beyond our understanding remains one of the greatest mysteries in paranormal research. Standing alone at these tracks after midnight, with only the sound of insects, the occasional breeze, and the distant horn of a passing train, it's easy to understand why so many leave believing something invisible shares the darkness with them.
So we're at the San Antonio Railroad tracks and our meters are going off the charts. We just came from the Hot Wells ruins. Meters did not do this.
No.
We're here at San Antonio Railroad tracks. Meters are all lighting up as red as can be.
Over the years, numerous paranormal investigators have visited the ghost tracks. Many arrived skeptical. Some left questioning everything they thought they knew. Teams have conducted electronic voice phenomenon, EVP sessions, hoping to capture voices beyond the range of human hearing. Most recordings reveal only silence. But every so often, investigators believe they hear something, a faint whisper, a single word, a child's laugh. Some claim recordings contain voices responding directly to questions. Others hear only random noise. As with much of paranormal investigation, interpretation often depends upon the listener. Motion detectors have activated without obvious cause. Electromagnetic field meters have occasionally registered unexpected fluctuations. Whether these anomalies are evidence of paranormal activity or simply environmental interference continues to be debated. Yet each unexplained occurrence adds another layer to a mystery already surrounded by decades of folklore. For believers, the ghost tracks are not simply haunted. They are active, alive, with unseen presence. Perhaps the most remarkable part of this legend isn't the tragedy. It's the compassion. Unlike many ghost stories that speak of revenge, anger, or fear, the spirits said to inhabit these tracks are believed to be guardians, children forever repeating one final act of kindness, saving strangers from the fate they themselves could not escape. Imagine, for just a moment, that the stories are true, that somewhere beyond our understanding, those tiny hands still reach outward, night after night, guiding another family away from danger, never asking to be remembered, never asking to be seen, simply continuing the only thing they know, protecting others. Perhaps that's why so many visitors leave flowers, stuffed animals, small toys, not because they fear the spirits, but because they wish to thank them. Whether the children are truly there, or whether the legend itself inspires these acts of remembrance, the crossing has become something more than a place. It has become a memorial within the hearts of those who believe. Not everyone who visits the ghost tracks believes the crossing is haunted. Engineers and scientists point to the landscape itself. They argue that the road creates a powerful optical illusion. What appears to be uphill is actually a gentle downhill slope. Gravity, not ghosts, causes vehicles placed in neutral to roll forward. Researchers have also noted that the famous school bus tragedy described in the legend has not been confirmed by historical records. For skeptics, the ghost tracks represent one of America's greatest urban legends, a fascinating combination of folklore, psychology, and expectation. But believers often respond with another question. If the explanation is only gravity, why do so many people report the same strange sensations? Why the laughter, the whispers, the sudden cold, the tiny handprints? Perhaps every experience has an explanation. Or perhaps some mysteries simply refuse to fit inside the boundaries of science. There are places that history remembers, and there are places that legends refuse to forget. The ghost tracks of San Antonio exist somewhere between those two worlds, a place where belief and skepticism meet, where ordinary railroad tracks become the setting for extraordinary stories, and where countless visitors continue searching for proof that we are never truly alone. Whether you believe invisible children still watch over these rails, or whether you see only the power of a story passed from one generation to the next, one fact remains undeniable. Long after the headlights disappear, long after the train whistle fades into the night, people continue returning. They continue placing their cars in neutral. They continue dusting their trunks with baby powder. And every year, new stories emerge. Perhaps the greatest mystery isn't whether ghosts haunt these tracks. Perhaps it's why this place continues to touch the hearts of everyone who visits. So, what do you believe? Have the children truly remained behind, forever protecting strangers from an unseen danger? Or has a simple stretch of railroad become one of America's most enduring paranormal legends? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this investigation, subscribe to DreamWave and join us as we uncover more of the world's most chilling hauntings, forgotten legends, and unexplained mysteries. Because sometimes, the most terrifying stories are the ones that refuse to die.